Hello, and welcome back to the Misty Morrison Podcast. I'm your host, the wonderful Misty Morrison, and today is another episode 2 of What the Fluff. So I have a couple of things saved, and we'll get right on into the stories. Story number 1 is coming to us from r/Tales from your server. What is the craziest thing you have ever seen on shift? I'll start. I was serving at a super busy bar downtown, and it was a rowdy weekend. 2 guys who were buddies were in there pounding back drinks. For some godforsaken reason, they began to argue with each other. They decided to go fight it out on the street as we were running over to see what the commotion was. They approach a lime scooter and then start wrenching on the thing. They break it in half, so one part is the foot part and the other part is a post with the handlebars. They proceed to run into the street and beat each other with the 2 halves of the lime scooter. The traffic on the street literally has to stop because these men are just pummeling each other with this scooter, not paying any attention to the cars. Cops end up having to come and direct traffic and confiscate the half scooter and deal with these dudes. Meanwhile, the entire street is a raging party of full bars with everyone watching out the window. I was like, did that actually just happen? Am I dreaming? But no, it was a real thing I saw with my own eyes, and after that day, not a lot shocked me anymore. Yeah, that's pretty shocking. I really feel bad for whoever owned the green scooter, because you were expecting to go back out to find your green scooter and I guess take your green scooter home, and it's not there anymore. Oh my goodness. People are wild. Okay, story number 2 is coming from r/Tales from your server. I'll grow a spine one day. But today was not that day. Sigh. I'm ranting because tonight was horrendous. We were all hands on deck, or supposed to be, but unlike other really busy Saturdays where we are 4, we are 3, and we seated almost 90 people, who, for some reason, were almost all so rude. I never knew how to act because I'm taken aback in a first time, and then I was so busy that it only registered 5 minutes later each time something happened. I know I already talked about this in a previous post, but are people, unaware of social rules? I agree that not having a server come see you in a while can be a bit annoying, but we are understaffed. And unlike the US, we don't have sections. I'm technically a runner. We had everyone and their dog complaining that fried food plates took more time than edamame or other small food items. It's a Saturday night. There are about 15 tickets with each 5 items, if not more, in the kitchen for the hot line, and the same amount for the cold line. I promise you, sir, that just because it is not out in 5 minutes doesn't mean it won't be there. Also, in my country, people are used to waiting 20 plus minutes usually. I don't think we're asking for the moon this time. One table especially, 3 guys in the 40s to 50s, which is either the best or the worst. I won't let you guess, because they called me like I was a dog or a 3-year-old child doing something wrong, not translatable in English. Asked where their beers were despite them fully knowing we were overcrowded, and also said a bunch of kind of racist things I could somewhat hear. Katsu Kawasaki ninja, or to my Japanese colleague, why don't you guys wear kimonos? Suggested that we'd be prettier in it, which, why do you care, and do you want your food to be served in 2 hours? That's how you get food in 2 hours. It was humiliating enough being called over like I'm not someone working a job, and then people were always complaining and in a bad mood. Some almost didn't say goodbye. Sigh. We usually get sweet people who may be confused about Japanese food, but who try their best and understand that me running around doesn't mean I'm ignoring them. It just means I'm the only runner and I'm paid minimum wage. Oh well, I know it's only a few bad tables ruining the experience. I do wonder why every rude person comes in the same day though. Hope you all had/will have a great shift today. That's rough. I remember when I worked customer service, I worked at a retail chain, and yeah, there was one particular day, people just without fail, like first thing in the morning, people were so rude on that particular day of the week. And I didn't get it. It was really weird, but just take their money, get them out the door, and go on. Like, there are better people. Story number 3 is coming to us from r/tales from your server. Hi, you're going to hate me. And they're almost never wrong. Sorry, we ordered too much food. Can you cancel the baked lobster roll that is already in the oven? Sure, we can cancel it. But it's very likely almost ready. Are you sure you don't want it? Maybe in a to-go box? No, we can't eat all that. Please cancel it. I approach the easy-to-anger chef and tell him to cancel it. What do you mean? It's already made. Did you ring it in by mistake? No, chef, they canceled it. They're too full. I'm sorry. Chef manages to resell it within 5 minutes. It's a popular dish. 15 minutes pass. I am bussing a table near the cancellation. Hi, excuse me. You're going to hate me. We decided we actually do want the baked lobster. Can you bring it now, please? Sir, we are going to have to remake it. What? No, just bring us the one we ordered. Sir, that was 15 minutes ago. We don't have it. Would you like to wait? Deep sigh as if I am the inconvenient person here. Sure, we will wait. Closing them out. Did we want any desserts? No thanks, we're full. Walks to exit, stops a dessert case, ogles, proceeds to look around, and then lock eye contact with me. I walked into the back, never to be seen again. That is super annoying. Yeah, I mean, lucky thing that they were able to resell it so it wasn't a wasted dish. But that's the worst. Just make your mind up. Know what you want. Ask for what you want. Like, yeah. Yeah. I feel like if you ordered more than you needed and you ended up too full, it was your mistake. Just take it in to-go box. Have it tomorrow. Let's see. Story number 4 is coming to us from r/tales from tech support. From the title, I think this will be a good one. CFO woke up and chose violence. Hello, tireless techs. First time poster here. I'm still processing what happened. I've been the IT second in command at a small trading company for about 7 months now. My boss and I carpool on a long drive, and during these rides, my boss has vented about the CFO. Let's call him Chuck. He says Chuck knows how to stick the knife in and twist it. No clue what that meant. Went right over my head. Well, certainly it hit me today. 3:30 p.m. rolls around, which is end of day for me. I'm logged into the firewall trying to get some poor dude's home IP through, and I get a message. Word for word. Chuck. Can either of you have a look at my old Outlook, please? Me. Sure, just finishing up a call. 10 to 15 minutes. Chuck. Sure. 17 minutes later. Me. Hi, Chuck. What's the issue with the Outlook? Chuck. It is not updating. It is stuck with I have closed and restarted the machine a few times, no luck. Chuck. It is not updating. It is stuck and I have closed and restarted the machine a few times, no luck. I log in, see both versions of Outlook are open. One does not have recent emails. General network connection seems fine. I know he has a big mailbox, so reducing the size of the OST is imperative to performance and stability. In fact, the OST could corrupt easily if it's approaching 50 gigabytes. In that case, I'll rebuild the profile. If that doesn't work, I'll clear the cache, repair the app, etc. Me. I'm going to reduce the cache mailbox to 6 months. Chuck. Why? It works on my laptop. Me. Reduces the OST file size to improve performance. Chuck. That is not the solution. I need at least 1 year of emails available. Me. You can still access old emails, they just won't be in the OST file. Chuck. If you don't have any, let me know when you work it out so I can go back to what I was doing. Doesn't work. Like I said, that can't be your first solution. If laptop is working, desktop is not. How come one works and the other doesn't? Me. It's a solution that's worked very well for many others. I don't know how your laptop is set up right now. Chuck. Ugh. Laptop has 1 year, then one day email would be better, huh? Me, yeah, that's the new outlook. Chuck, have you got a solution other than that? Me, I will look. 10 minutes later, after checking my sanity on tech forums. Me, looks like a corrupted or too large OST file can cause Outlook old to stop updating. Perhaps this hasn't become a problem on the new laptop yet, but will eventually, with a cache size of 1 year on a large mailbox like yours. I could delete and rebuild the Outlook profile for you. Chuck, are you making a generalization or looking at my system and saying this? Me, I'm referring to the system. Chuck, yeah, is it basis? Yeah, is it basis the diagnosis, or are you making a judgment in this case? Me, my best judgment and experience says this is the case. This goes on for a while. Eventually, I tell him I have made this change for a dozen people at this company because of large distribution lists. My boss chimes in and explains OST files and catch mailbox. He agrees with my approach. I reiterate it is not going to change how he uses his mailbox. He can still search his old emails. Eventually, he says, neither of you are helping. Got it to work a different way. I asked what worked. He said, no point discussing it because you guys didn't even look at it. Thanks. 4:30 p.m., I just messaged my boss. What an asshole. And logged off for the day. That is painful situation to go through, and one of the many reasons why I feel bad for tech support people. Yeah, if you already knew how to fix it yourself, why didn't you? You were just trying to be lazy. Ugh. Yeah, people are wild. Okay, story number 5 is coming to us from r/Tales from Tech Support. Printer discrimination. So this is a call I had recently that I wanted to share. Me, thank you for calling the IT help desk. This is my name. How may I assist you? Customer, yeah, I have a ticket, and I'm very disappointed in the lack of service. Me, let me pull up this ticket and see what's going on. I open the ticket and see that she's requesting ink for a printer that we don't support. My supervisor had already explained to her that we don't provide ink for this type of printer, but had directed her to proper channels to order it. Me, okay ma'am, I see what is happening here. It looks like we don't have ink in store for this type of printer. If you could please contact your department budget team, they should be able to order you ink from a third party. Customer, this is BS. I've been working at this for 15 years and you're telling me that you don't have ink. Me, ma'am, we have ink for Xerox printers and some HP printers. Ink cartridges are not compatible across systems. I can send this to the Xerox since they typically do deliveries for printer supplies, but they'll probably tell you the same thing. Customer, I want to speak to senior management. Me, I can forward a message to my office manager to have them contact you. However, they're a bit busy right now. Would this number be the best method to contact you? Customer, yeah, but I want to report this as harassment. You're telling me that just because I have a different type of printer, you're not going to support. I'm leaving for a trip at 12, and I need this ink before then. I can't wait for Amazon to deliver it. You offer support, but you don't do support for all devices. That's discrimination. I'll report of IT if I have to get you to release my ink. She proceeded to go on a 5-minute long rant, after which the call fizzles out and she hangs up. I do let my office manager know about this ticket, and he does call her. Later I asked how it went. It's more or less the same kind of call. He directs her to the office of the Xerox team, and they told her they don't have ink for this. She emailed us 3 more times before the end of the day. All tech told her the same thing. The answer doesn't change because you yell loud enough. Ugh. Discrimination? What the fluff? I just don't understand people. Like, they literally told you they don't have ink and they told you why. So let it go and get it somewhere else. Like, that's the only sensible thing to do. Story number... I'm losing track of my stories. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Story number 6 is coming to us from r/Tales from Tech Support. We have a winner in the stupid stakes. Before I start, here's a bit of the backstory. We have a semi-automated system that requires user input at different parts of the process. After each user input, the system checks that the input is within the required parameters. If a check fails, the system asks for the user to confirm the values are correct, and if they still aren't, the system will require various alternative inputs. 99.9% of the time, corrected inputs will solve the incorrect values, and the process can proceed. At all steps, data is written to the database. My job is to deal with the 0.1% who make errors. Now on to our winner. There is a user, let's call him X. X makes an error with the required inputs and goes through the second phase of the process and still is unable to come up with the correct values for the system to carry on. X figures that the system is wrong and starts a new process with the same outcome. X completes the same process 9 more times. Only now does X contact customer support and says that he cannot complete the process. I am the lucky one to get the call and start troubleshooting the problem. I get to see all the attempts that X has made to generate his output. Each entry in the database has to be manually corrected/deleted, depending on the error. I sent X an email to tell him not to do anything, as I will call him to see what the problem is and then solve it so that he can complete the process. In the meantime, X tries again. Just when I thought I had fixed everything, I spent another half an hour solving try number 12. When I do get around to calling X, it turns out that he was putting the wrong values in the various fields. I spent some time teaching X what needs to be done, and he finally completes the process. It is a new day. X did it again. It is true what they say, you can educate ignorance, but you cannot fix stupid. And some people you just can't help. Like, if they're not going to get it, they're not going to get it. You know, there's sometimes you can try like so many different ways to teach someone something and they still don't get it. And I do believe at some point you just have to say you're done. So maybe eventually he'll get it, but hopefully it won't be your problem until then. Okay, story number 7 is coming to us from r/Reads from Retail. My coworker is making my job harder than it needs to be with constant mistakes that look bad on our company. I work in a small shop that specializes in high-performance automotive parts. A few months ago, one of my current coworkers' father was hired on. Their job has primarily been to wrench on cars in the shop and package online orders when they come in. I work a lot of customer service/administration tasks, so I've been aware of every time an online order has had an issue when the customer received it. At first, I chalked it up to a new guy potentially lacking proper training/knowledge on our products, despite them all being labeled and having an available database of exactly what you need to package. So I made sure to more or less walk them through the same processes to ensure they had an understanding of everything. Turns out, my boss/the owner has been doing the same thing as they're aware of similar issues as well. Despite all of this, I spend almost half my time on the customer service front, literally just fixing wrong orders or having customers return incorrect products for corrected ones. Over the past 2 months, I think we've burned through around $1,000 in shipping costs on replacing customer products, which is a lot, especially for a small shop in a slow season. That's not even accounting for how many pissed off emails and calls we get from people about how their orders are blatantly missing pieces or are entirely wrong. On top of that, I made the discovery the other day that it appears they're sending out orders with incorrect or intentionally fudged data, which is not only extremely immoral, but could potentially lead to issues with customer cars not performing properly. At this point, they've become more a liability than a help in the shop, and it's piling on my already tall workload and stress while making us look bad. The owner doesn't seem to care outside of occasional verbal reminders to double-check orders or ask me to do so. So maybe I'm putting too much weight on the whole situation. That being said, I take pride in my work and always strive to do the best I can. So consistently having to apologize to customers over the stupidest issues is a bit of a morale killer. He inferred I'm a snitch the other day because of all this. I guess he assumes that, 1, he isn't responsible for his mistakes, or at least shouldn't be reprimanded for it. 2, I should simply not address a reoccurring issue that's literally burning money. The funny part is that I haven't even snitched, although there's no issue with me reporting the problem since it's hurting our business. The owner has seen some of the emails and calls himself, as well as had the same problems with cars in the shop, which is something I have pretty minimal contact over. To make it all worse, the dude's racist and always acts like he has the answer for everything, despite that obviously being false. He routinely gets in arguments with his son in the shop about who's right or wrong. They're usually both wrong. The dude kind of just completely sucks, and it's exhausting having to deal with it. OP, I feel for you. That is a lot, and you're right, that is incredibly aggravating. Especially, it's one thing to see the mistakes happening and have no power to correct it, but it's even more aggravating to see them happen, know that upper management is aware of it, and they just act like they don't care. Like $1,000 in shipping costs? No big deal. Like a bunch of angry customers for a small business? No big deal. What's going on? I want to know. I mean, we could tell a lot is wrong with this employee, but what the fluff is wrong with the owner? Why? I don't understand why he doesn't care. This is weird. Yeah, I'm sorry you have to deal with that, because that would drive me mad, literally mad. Story number 7 is coming to us from r/rants from retail. I think this transcript will speak for itself. There's always a bigger idiot. A real conversation I had. Moron. Yes, I would like to pay with this card. Me. Sure, go ahead, machine's ready for you. Moron. Is it insert, tap, or swipe? Me. I'm not sure, sir. It's your card, but most cards here, Australia, tend to be tap or insert. Moron. Well, which is it? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. Okay, tap worked, but how am I meant to know which account to use? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. Will debit work? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. I'll try savings. Why is it asking for a PIN? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. It didn't ask for my PIN at Australian grocery store. Why do you need it? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. Well, now that hasn't worked, so I was meant to use debit. Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. Moron. Would credit work? Me. I don't know. It's your card, sir. It was at this point my colleague stepped in because I could see her watching the interaction in my peripheral vision, and she was just stunned. She jumped in, could see the cluster headache forming before I even could. I walked away, so don't know what happened to Mr. Blunt Crayon, but I did go to the break room to scream. Oh my goodness. Yeah, that is crazy. Literally, how many times do you have to tell someone, I don't know because it's your card, like only you know if the money is in savings or debit. Only you know if credit will work with this particular card. Why don't you know? And if it worked a certain way at the Australian grocery store, why didn't you try to use it the same way here? Baffling, absolutely baffling. Okay, we're going to do one more. Story number 8 is coming to us from rants from Story number 8 is coming to us from r/rants from retail. Sometimes I just hate customers so much. They suck the life force out of my introverted soul, and I am so tired of using my customer service voice. Before anyone says, you should not have gone into retail, trust me, that is easier said than done. I hate it when they take their sweet time making up their mind or organizing something, expecting you to wait sweetly at the counter as though you did not have a million other things to do. They do not read things anywhere, does not matter how large the font is. Come to think of it, not listening when you are giving them clear instructions. They come in with an Amazon return without packaging and without labeling, saying they want to return it, insisting that Amazon said that is exactly what to do. They complain to you about something that shows the insane amount of privilege of living in a first world country. I have to pick up my parcel 5 minutes away from where I live? The audacity, peasants! I say, hi, and they reply with, no, I'm not actually, and a smirk. They ask you for something while you are still completing a previous task for them. They ask you something complicated while you are helping someone else. They complain about pricing as though I was lining my pockets with their extra 30 cents. They breeze in the door on their cell phone and expect to be helped while you remain silent. They complain about needing ID to pick up a parcel. They expect a discount because they are a regular, $2 at the time. Customer, it is not that we don't appreciate you, but come on, dude. They tell me I look tired. They say, you look bored, let me give you something to do. Ah, what did I miss? Please add yours. Yeah, it really is easier said than done to not go into retail because a lot of times, possibly for these many reasons, retail is the easiest job to get when you're in a pinch. Yes, some customers can suck, and they tend to outweigh the polite, the sensible, the nice customers. Yeah, all these reasons are really valid, and I can think of so many instances where I experienced this when I worked in retail. It is painfully common, and I wish people would just do better. All right, that is everything we have for today for episode 2 of What the Fluff. I hope you enjoyed those stories. They are all linked below, and we will see you next week for another episode of the Misty Morrison Podcast. Bye.